there for a second and had to come back in.
There we. Hello? Okay. Cool. I don't know. Everything just Twitch be twitching. And twitchy, twitchy, twitchy.
Hopefully everyone else can get back in.
I mean, get back in. Yeah, Kane's going. It went wonky for a bit.
Well, when I first tried to reopen the thing, it said this content can't be played, and then it let me in the second time. It was kind of weird.
Yep. So it's
It's
gonna
always on
be
my shit.
yep, it blipped off. So we're gonna be doing two. We've already got one that's sitting and waiting to export.
So probably gonna have to like get those knit together at some point.
Yep. That one's exporting. Woohoo! Okay. So we'll start over at the top of this and then that'll work. Okay. Peachy keen. 4:33 p.m. gas station, 1 hour east of Nashville. The storm came out of nowhere, thick clouds rolling in, thunder low and lazy as Riot eased the Chevelle off the back road into the cracked pavement of a run-down gas station. She hadn't planned to stop long, just needed fuel, a drink, and a chance to breathe where she wasn't fogging up the windows. The long stretch of highway had done nothing to calm her nerves. Every mile between her and Russ Creek only wound her tighter. When she stepped out, the wind kicked up dust, and that's when she noticed the black, glossy paint of the McLaren. McLaren? Thought that sounded familiar. McLaren that pulled in behind her. Her stomach twisted before she saw the driver. Cassian stepped out like he owned the asphalt, dressed sharp as ever, sleeves rolled enough to hint he'd been behind the wheel himself. No guards, no games, just him. Riot didn't move, didn't speak. She stared at the tall drink of water before her, wondering how screwed she really was by him being there. He offered her a small, knowing smile. Didn't take you for the type to run. His voice calm, smooth. I'm not. Her reply was cold steel. Just smart enough not to wait for the walls to close in. Cassian stepped closer, eyes locked on hers. You think they're closing in because I'm giving you options? Funny way to say thank you for making sure you have plenty to do. You don't get it, Suit. Your kind never does. Too many jobs, too many names sniffing around my crew. That's how people get hurt. This how you recruit? Because I'm not impressed. She stood there as the rain came down in sheets. No, he said, soft but firm. It's how I make sure you understand the stakes. A long silence stretched between them. The wind tugged at her hair, whipping it back from her face, giving her an edge. I understand that people like you don't give two shits about the lives they fuck with. We're not pawns in anyone's game. What do you expect me to say? He asked, frustration rising. What will make this better? Nothing. There is nothing you can possibly say that will make any of this make sense. Riot stepped forward, closing the distance before her mind could scream stop. Cassian closed the gap, standing toe to toe, realizing he would have to change tactics if he was going to get anywhere with Riot. Dinner then. One night. My turf. We talk. You walk away afterward if you still want to. Riot considered it, jaw clenched. Everything inside her screamed no, but everything outside her, pressure, whispers, threats, said the storm was coming whether she liked it. Said this wouldn't end until he got what he wanted, until she stared down the beast, until she satisfied her own curiosity. She nodded once. Your turf, one night, tonight. She didn't flinch. What's the address? I'll send it to you. Cassian's smile crept across his lips. You don't have my number. Riot, relenting this one time, walked over and took his phone, putting her number in it. You try anything, Locke? Riot threw the phone back at him. I won't. He turned and stepped back to his car, not needing to look back to know she was still watching him. 6:45 p.m., 1 hour before. Riot stood in front of the floor-length mirror, towel wrapped around her head, staring daggers through the glass and plastic she called her tracker. Cassian had texted her personally, no third-party interference, with a time and a location pin. The address was in Midtown, right off Music Row, some fancy high-rise, the kind of place with a valet even at night. She wanted to scream, throw the phone against the wall, and pretend she never got the message. But that wouldn't solve anything. And no one could ever say she wasn't a woman of her word. Riot also knew that not showing would only amp him up and have him on her doorstep in a matter of hours if it took him that long. From the beginning, she had honestly thought Cassian was some obsessed sponsor hiding behind shell company bets, some psycho in an expensive tailed suit that liked to play games and fix odds. Maybe even a trust fund baby bored with his life, addicted to the rush of the underground. Riot had seen it all before, and eventually they'd move on. Not him, though. Riot had her speculation after the job he'd hired her for. In her mind, he needed people like her around to keep his hands clean and product moving. No sweat off her nose. She had the gift of speed and enough sense to keep her face covered. And if that's all it was, then great. Perfect. She could deal. She could understand. But Cassian became the thorn in her boot by simply being who he said he was, pushing that line in the sand. Riot expected, but hadn't come to terms with her wanting him too. Riot aggressively rummaged through her go bag, throwing clothes across the bed. What the hell do you wear to a dinner with a self righteous asshole? Riot growled. Grease stained flannel's about as high fashion as I get. He's lucky if I have clean jeans and bad decisions in this fucking bag, but don't think that's going to cover it. Oh, I like that. Clean jeans and bad decisions.
Isn't
Her
that the truth,
patience.
though?
Let's not talk about my closet, okay? Her patience wore thin as she launched herself across the clothes, flinging her forearm over her face. It's not like I planned to run into his smug ass face when trying to escape his very existence. Riot clenched her jaw. Or like I keep an evening dress in my bug out gear, unless Kevlar counts as formal wear now. The closest thing I've got is attitude and a sidearm, sitting up on her elbows. Why the fuck am I so worried about this? It's not that I'm dressing up for him anyway. Asshole probably irons his socks. This was all a foreign concept to her. Listen, Riot, honey, there's this thing called a little black dress. You know, the best ones are ones that are wrinkle free and you shove into the back pocket. I'm just saying. Okay. Screw it, she muttered. He wants a show? I'll give him one. With her boots laced, dark jeans that hugged but didn't beg, cropped leather jacket unzipped just enough to tease, underneath a black tank that clung to her curves in all the wrong ways for a simple conversation. She meant to wear the usual forgettable, guarded armor, but something inside her whispered, "Make him remember you." She didn't want to think too hard about what accepting the invitation meant. Riot knew one thing for certain, and two things for sure. This wasn't business, nor pleasure, but a necessary move in the perilous contest. And yet, she stood in front of the mirror longer than she meant to. She ran a hand through her hair, stepped back, and told her reflection, "Don't stay long. Don't get comfortable. And for the love of God, don't let him in." 1, don't pick up the phone. You know he's only calling because he's drunk and alone. 2, don't let him in. You'll have to kick him out again. 3, anyway, we're just going to stop there. 7:40 p.m., Cassian's penthouse. The whiskey sat untouched in the glass he carried as he paced the length of his living room to the balcony and back again. Everything was steel, floor to ceiling glass, and skyline glittering at his feet. Immaculate, impersonal, like him, but tonight he couldn't shake the electric, nervous current crawling under his skin. Cassian kept hearing his grandfather's voice. "You want power? Keep your heart out of the room." But she had already kicked in the damn door. He adjusted the sleeves of his button up. No jacket, no tie. He wanted her to feel disarmed, but not comfortable. Not yet. He needed the upper hand going into this, even if he wouldn't retain it once she was in front of him. As he finally took a long pull from the drink, he muttered to himself, "Keep it clean, be direct, don't let it go sideways." He paused at the window when he heard the distant growl coming closer. He looked out when he caught sight of the Chevelle passing under the streetlights below. Riot pulled into the underground parking alone, the Chevelle's rumble earning a few sideways glances from the staff, but no one dared speak. The low growl of the engine rolled through the concrete like thunder, announcing her arrival long before she parked and stepped out. It was deliberate, her battle cry before walking into war. If Cassian wanted a show, he'd damn well get one. She cut the ignition, and the silence that followed was sharp enough to taste. Every eye in the garage tracked her as she swung the door open, one boot hitting the ground, hips shifting with a quiet confidence that could only come from knowing the effect she had when she wanted to. Leather creaked as she straightened, dark hair tumbling free of the jacket's collar, storm gray eyes cutting through the fluorescent haze. For a second, she let the weight of it hang there, contrast between her machine and his marble world. Then she locked the car with a flick of her wrist, glanced toward the elevator, and smirked under her breath. Showtime. The elevator opened to glass, steel, and skyline. Nashville glittered below her like a restless pulse, all noise, light, and motion. Riot wasn't sure what she expected from Cassian's place. Maybe another boardroom masquerading as dinner. But this, floor to ceiling glass, sharp edges, clean lines. Money didn't drip here. It was poured, measured, and polished to perfection. Sinatra hummed low in the background, lights from downtown melting like liquid gold over the marble floors. She was still standing in the foyer when she muttered, "Bastard's got taste." She hated admitting it. The door opened before she could knock. "Didn't think you'd make it," Cassian said, voice smooth enough to coat sin. Riot adjusted her grip around the keys in her pocket. "You're lucky I came at all." He leaned against the frame, sleeves rolled just enough to look accidental. "Luck has nothing to do with it. You're curious." "About what?" she asked, stepping past him. The penthouse smelled of bourbon, leather, and the kind of cologne that announces itself before the man does. Moonlight carved long teeth across the room, glinting off chrome and glass. And there, dead center on the kitchen counter, her helmet, matte black, visor scuffed, set exactly where the light could catch it. Her boots clicked against marble. The view outside was endless, the kind of power play meant to impress or intimidate. "Nice place," she said finally. "Bit cold." "Temperature or atmosphere?" "Both." "Then I'll pour something that burns." He smiled, slow, knowing. "You look tired." Riot ignored that and took in the skyline. Nice view. Not quite, he countered smoothly. His gaze didn't leave her. You're here now. Breathe, Izzy.
He's laying it on very thick there.
He handed her a glass of whiskey, amber and clean. Still in your Jack phase? Phase implies I'll grow out of it. She clinked her glass against his. You really do your homework. I like to be prepared, he said. For what? Tonight. Riot laughed under her breath. You're laying it on thick, Locke. Maybe I just wanted to return something. He gestured toward the counter, the helmet mocking her under warm light. You kept it? Figured you'd come back for it. I wasn't planning on it. Good thing I plan ahead. She rolled her eyes but didn't argue. The silence between them stretched, thick with all the things neither wanted to admit. Dinner? He said, breaking it. She followed him to the kitchen where an unopened envelope sat beside two plates. They ate under pendant lights, trading words instead of small talk. Cassian talked about the city, about wolves moving in from Atlanta, about control. He made it sound like an opportunity, but she heard the hook underneath. I know what this is, Riot said finally. You don't want a freelancer. You want a fixer. Cassian swirled his whiskey. I want a partner. She laughed darkly. You don't know me. I know enough. You think if you dangle danger in front of me, I'll bite. Not danger, he said, sliding the envelope across the counter. Control, autonomy, real stake. Take it or don't. She didn't touch it. I came here for dinner, not a contract. He met her eyes, calm, unreadable. You're already in the game, Riot. I'm just giving you better odds. You don't get to decide that for me. Then decide. Her jaw tightened. I should have known this was a setup. Admit it, he said, following as she walked toward the living room. You're curious. About what? Why you're really here. You said dinner. I said I wanted you here. The air shifted. Even the city outside seemed still. You always make offers this personal? Only when I mean them. Try again. He moved closer, voice low. Tell me to stop. Riot turned, chin tilted, her breath catching before she could stop it. You could start with good night. I could, he murmured, but I won't. He stepped in, close enough she could smell the whiskey on his breath, the quiet restraint humming between them. His hand brushed her side tentatively, dangerously, tracing heat up her ribs before catching a stray strand of hair, tucking it behind her ear. You always choose the dangerous songs, he whispered. You talk too much for a man who brought my helmet into his home, she muttered. You forgot it on my hood, he said, and I'm sorry that was too convenient an artifact to pass up. He breathed in, hand ghosting the space behind her shoulder. Besides, it looks better on my counter than on your handlebars. Siren's gonna be upset that she missed, or Siren's gonna be. She wanted schmexy tension. Riot's laugh came sharp. You don't get to be sentimental now, Locke. I'm not being sentimental, he said. I'm being honest. Cassian cupped her jaw with one hand, thumb at the corner of her mouth, and the world tilted. It's a touch that could be tender or a declaration of war. I don't want you because you're a freelance ghost who disappears between jobs. Cassian stared deep into her eyes, searching for the woman beneath the mask. I want you because you're the only one who scares me and makes me think I could be worse than I am. Because you make me want to stop hedging. I'd walk through hell to have you, Sabrina. Her voice dropped raw. You don't get to say that. Then tell me to stop. She should have, but didn't. The kiss landed like a promise they'd both regret, slow, deliberate testing, heat building where restraint used to live. His hand never moved higher than her throat, her fingers fisted at his chest like she didn't know whether to shove or pull him closer. When it broke, silence roared. This doesn't change anything, she whispered. Then tell me it didn't matter. Riot looked at him for a long time. In her eyes was the map of all the reasons she shouldn't, and a dozen that maybe she should. But Riot wasn't the type who gave in first on the things that matter. She stepped back, fingers closing around the edge of the envelope, as if it was the only anchor left to her. I'll let you know if you're worth the trouble. Riot's voice was hoarse, a warning, a promise, and threat braided together. She walked out without looking back. Her jacket slapped the door, and the city swallowed the sound. On the counter, where the moon picked out the scuff on the visor, her helmet sat where Cassian left it, quiet, immovable, waiting like a silent witness. The elevator doors slid shut with a whisper, and Riot finally let out the breath she'd been holding for, hell, she didn't even know how long. Her pulse was still tripping over itself, her palms still hot where his fingers had brushed hers at the door. She caught her reflection in the mirrored wall, flushed cheeks, pupils wide, hair slightly mussed from where he'd tucked a strand behind her ear. Damn him. By the time the elevator hit the lobby, she'd already started cursing herself out. Smooth, Riot. Real smooth. She muttered under her breath, fishing for her keys. Leave your damn helmet like it's some kind of calling card. What are you, 12? The valet glanced up as she stormed through the glass doors, that trademark swing of irritation and swagger rolling off her, heart still trying to punch its way out of her ribs. The sound of her boots echoed too loud against concrete, too sharp in the stillness. The Chevelle sat where she'd left it, paint gleaming under harsh fluorescent lights. She yanked the door open, dropped into the driver's seat, the leather creaking beneath her. Riot threw the envelope on the passenger seat and gripped the wheel until her knuckles burned. Shit, 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 she hissed, the ghost of his touch still lingering on her skin. She could still hear his voice, low, smooth, too damn steady when he said, Didn't think you were going to make it. Riot huffed out a laugh that was half scoff, half disbelief. Didn't think I was going to either, she mocked, jamming the key into the ignition. The engine roared to life, shaking through her bones, grounding her in something that wasn't him. She leaned back, exhaled slowly. Her lips still tingled. Her pulse wasn't leveling out. Every nerve screamed that she should have walked away the second he poured the drinks. But no, she'd let him talk. And she'd listened. And then he'd gone and kissed her like the world didn't exist outside that penthouse. She dropped her forehead against the steering wheel. You're such an idiot, Riot. The leather of her gloves creaked as she exhaled through her teeth. Son of a bitch! Did you have to let him close enough to touch, to kiss? You're not a fucking teenager, Riot. Then it hit her. The helmet. Son of a... She slammed her head against the wheel. Luck, you smug bastard! Because she knew exactly what that meant. He'd keep it. He'd absolutely keep it. Probably set it somewhere he could see it every damn day. And whether she liked it or not, that thought did something to her chest she didn't want to name. For one wild second, she thought about going back up there, snatching her helmet, and maybe knocking that smug expression off his face. Instead, Riot slammed the Chevelle into gear, tires biting into the concrete as she tore out of the garage, pulse still singing in her ears. The echo of the elevator doors closing hadn't even faded before the silence in the penthouse felt wrong. Cassian stood exactly where she'd left him, one hand still hanging in the air, fingers flexing like they were trying to remember the shape of her. The glass of untouched scotch on the counter caught caught the light, same amber burn as her hair under the chandelier when she'd turned away from him. He should have let her go sooner, should have kept the distance, the upper hand. But Riot never played by the rules, and tonight, neither had he. The city sprawled beneath him, all glitter and motion, but his reflection in the window looked like someone else's jaw tight, pupils still wide. Cassian dragged a breath through his nose, slow and deliberate, but it didn't steady him. On the counter, her helmet sat exactly where he'd placed it on display, scuffed, defiant, her. He reached for it, thumb tracing the worn edge by instinct. The faintest scent of gasoline and smoke clung to it, something wild that didn't belong in his polished world. She really left it. He spoke reverently, half amusement, half disbelief. The smirk that followed didn't filter to his eyes. You're slipping, Locke. He set the helmet down carefully, like he was handling a Mona Lisa instead of something known to take hits. He loosened the buttons of his shirt, the first inch of unraveling he'd allowed in hours. He could still taste her on his lips, the echo of challenge in her breath. It shouldn't have mattered. She shouldn't have mattered. But the hollow quiet in the room told him otherwise. Cassian poured the scotch, swallowed it without flinching. The burn failed at the attempt to chase her memory away. He picked up his phone, thumb hovering over her name. That single word, riot, burning brighter than it should. For a moment, the world held its breath with him. Then, instead of calling, he set the phone face down beside the helmet and whispered to the empty room, "She'll come back. She always does." As the room let out the breath, the skyline blinked back at him, indifferent.
Is this what you were afraid of, Julie? Or looking forward to?
That
I'm
was
not
what I
sure
was
what.
looking forward to, but it would be great if I could hear it.
I think she deprived you of that.
I don't want to get us canceled.
Good call. That's
Is
why
there
we have
anything you
Discord.
can say with the mic on? Or am I going to hear it later?
When you asked me about the sentence, the smug expression, I thought she was really gonna take the fucking motherfucking helmet and hit him with it. No, 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 it's not. No, she's like beating herself up because she fucking left the helmet up there fucking again. Like, dude, this guy has got completely underneath her skin as if I don't know anything about that. Anyway, the point is, like, Jesus H, oh my God, that is the closest I have gotten to a sexy, smexy, hot. Saren left too soon. Like, she thought, like, no, okay, we don't read about the actual act on here. If you've got the actual act in it, redact it, please, and thank you. But the smexy leading up to, hey, whatever, and oh my God, okay, okay.
Hey, you got that out of your system?
For like a half a second.
Yeah, you can see it like percolate. Got her going.
Oh, I got her going, and I got her going bad. And it was like, it's that moment where it's
She's
like,
yelling at you again. Wouldn't know because she's on mute.
duct tape. Are you threatening me with misery? Izzy is a silent cartoon. It's so much fun. It'd just be better if I could actually understand. I mean,
Now, what do I got to do to
like
get that response from
she's
her?
like the freaking Jerry when Jerry's like all fucking hyper and he's and you're just sitting there going, eventually he'll stop and you'll understand. All I know is she's showing me duct tape, so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get a
You're gonna get kidnapped and duct taped to a chair.
Patrick's like, I'm gonna get it later. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I'm gonna have to listen in on that one.
Oh, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be cornered in Discord going, all right, let me have it. Just let me have it.
Oh my gosh. I'm laughing so hard. I've got tears.
Hey, Julie, remember the author that I referenced earlier today? Okay. We're also going to talk about a certain fairy tale that we have been discussing recently. Yeah, that was hotter.
And all he did was
Right,
kiss her.
Trisha?
Yeah, I think I overstimulated the Izzy, but you know what? I'm fucking here for it. And I'm like, this is my standard now. This is honestly my standard now. Like, will I get the microphone? No, I didn't get the microphone. I'm getting threatened with duct tape.
These are not the only roles I have.
Of course they're
I
not.
have
I am
glittery ones.
prepared. No, I am prepared, and please understand that most of these aren't mine. I inherited from a hoarder.
So they're the good duct tape.
Yeah, it's duct tape brand. If you can't duck it, fuck it. So, guess what? You're getting ducked.
The goose. Hold on a second. I got to close my window. It's starting to rain inside.
And I need more tea and a bathroom break because I've had too much liquid today. And I'm going to contemplate things to do.
And she's on mute again. Ah.
I got her so damn bone buckled, she left the fucking cup sitting on the damn desk. It's like, all right, sounding board of the audience. What you got?
Oh, oh
Let,
my
let, let me hear it.
goodness. Oh.
Are you okay over there, Cash? I mean, I don't know whether you were laughing at me or laughing at Izzy, but either which way.
I'm laughing at Izzy. It's hilarious watching her.
Oh God, I set her off. I'm here for it, but I set her off.
I'm scared she's going to show up on my doorstep soon.
Well, she's gonna have to show up on your doorstep because her truck won't make it.
Yeah, her truck won't make it to you, yes, but I'm 10 minutes away.
Right, so she can make it to you, and you can make it to me. That's how that worked.
I hope that's not what she's doing. I have to work tomorrow.
Right, it's
And then
like
I have to try and explain that one to my boss.
see, what happened was you need to go over to Twitch and watch this video, and then you will understand why I'm not at work today.
I think you've gotten her close a couple of times, Trisha. Well,
I mean, I've gotten her close. I've had her throw the mic at me a couple of times. Yours wasn't, but sir, me and you gonna have a talk.
I'm scared now.
But yeah. And mine was the longest of the night. So now it's all.
Oh, yours was
Oh
longer than mine?
yeah, mine was the longest one tonight.
Oh, wow.
Mine just barely beat yours, but
You did it.
I did. And next up is Dahlia. When
Whenever Izzy decides to come back.
yeah, whenever Izzy reappears onto the screen, next will be Dahlia, and um, I just noticed K Knight's comment.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, why are we going to have words? Because you should have gave us a semi hanky warning, and you didn't give us a hanky warning. While nobody cried, everybody had feelings.
Mhm.
That was great. I love it. The whole thing is I can't wait to go over to Discord tonight and get that full on Izzy yell at me, because there we can't. By the way, this was a great segue into, please join our Discord, join our stuff. So when we do go jump off here, we always go over to the Discord, and you listen to Izzy yell at me in full volume.
Where I can't get us canceled.
Yeah, where apparently he can't get canceled.
No, all I have to say, turnabout's fair play.
I know. But we have Dahlia next.
We do have Dahlia next. We do indeed. Um, we do indeed. No, not mad. Not mad, Patrick.
We're not mad, Patrick.
We
I
we were
promise you that.
stabbed. We were stabbed in the gut. Okay, I
And then it was
know.
twisted.
Yes. There she is. Okay. Oh my Jeebus.
Usa. There she goes again. I don't think I've ever seen her like this.
I,
I've known her almost 3.
I mean, I've seen her like this once before, maybe twice, but not to this extent. And it usually had to do with Patrick. It had nothing to do with me. So, I mean, while I have seen her react this way, it was never in this particular fashion towards me. Okay.
Zippy.
This is going to have its own clip.
Oh yeah. The last time this happened, though, no, it wasn't the last time. I think it was the last time it happened on TikTok. And Izzy, what the frick? That's where the Dahlia skits came from.
Can I He wants to dub a chipmunk
Oh
voice
yes, no,
over her.
absolutely. I will see
That
what I
would
can do
be
with that, like the angry chipmunk or the angry mouse or something like that. No, absolutely. And then Izzy comes back and he's like, everything's fine. Turns it off.
Fuck you, King. Fuck you. Fuck you, King.
All right, come on.
All right, next up, Dahlia, Queen of Horror herself, with something entitled Halloween Horror. Waking up in the morning, I became excited for the day to come. Finally, being at the age where I was as well as everyone, the age of 20 gets a job placement. I get up and ready myself for the day. After eating, there isn't much to do besides wait. I fidget, move around a lot, going from a chair to the couch to laying on the floor, just waiting for the doorbell to ring with a mailman handing me a package. Oh, the anticipation driving me crazy. Ever since I turned 16, I was moved into my own place. With no one to talk to and barely making any friends while in school, I found myself wishing I made some friends so we could call and talk about the excitement and share what we got when the packages finally arrived. I don't like where this is heading. I really fucking don't, because it's Delia.
You'll be
Even if it was
fine. You
inevitable
always
that
are.
we would drift away and make more friends within our lifelong jobs, never being able never being able to change jobs or complain about what we got chosen to do. The people you meet at work are those who become your family, friends and family. My own parents were distant, always saying, "If you join our field, then we will accept you as our own." Until then, there is no point in creating a bond with those that could leave you and never be seen again, even if those people are your blood and flesh. Anyone heard of these two characters named Triss and Four from a little series called Divergent? When I was young, I never really understood what she meant by all that. But now that I am older, I think I get it. Your life is meaningless until you are assigned a job. People come and go. No point in wasting energy on those until you know they will be around long term. Although I am super excited to get my assigned job, I am nervous. I will get something horrible. It's a Dahlia story. Sorry, protagonist, but your life's about to go downhill. You got written by Dahlia. I'll pass on having to clean pipes filled with waste or have to be in the mines. Honestly, there's so many bad jobs. I really only hope for a good one. Finally, the doorbell rings. I jump up from the floor and run to the door. Placing my hand on the pad, the door slides open, and on the other side stands a tall, strangling boy. I don't think that was supposed to be the word. I mean, maybe he's standing there strangled. I don't know. That hasn't quite grown into his body and learned to navigate it. He holds a black box in his hands and passed it to me. As his weight shifts, he loses balance and almost falls into me before catching himself. I am sorry. I am such a klutz. Honestly, don't know why they would put me as a mailman. Maybe a desk job would have been better, he said as I grabbed the package. You shouldn't say that. You know, I could report you for complaining. I won't, though you should be careful. Others might, I said, giving him a sympathetic look of pity. Thanks, he said, moving on to the next house, tripping 4 times before making it the short length to the other house. Pulling a different and much smaller package from his bag and ringing the doorbell. Placing the box on my table, I pause, taking a big breath before grabbing the scissors out of the drawer. Cutting into the package carefully, I open it to see a rule book on top of a laptop. A bit confused about what my job could be, I opened the book quickly to relieve my worries. Welcome to the author career. Your job is to write various stories for the public. In order to know what you may write, check your emails once a day. Authors will be given various missions within your writing to complete. Failure to complete those missions will result in penalties. When each mission is completed, rewards will be given. Only open the rulebook to the sections that are stated in the emails. There, it will tell you which section of rules you must follow while completing that mission. You may not change the missions or rules at any point in this career until they once they are selected. Attempts to change the rules or missions will result in penalties. May you prosper in your career. Placing the rulebook down, I pull the computer and then the monitor, and under that, a hard drive. How did they make this box so small and light, yet fit so much stuff inside it? I asked no one in particular. At the very bottom of the box was a small note. Someone will be over around 5 p.m. to set up your workstation. Thank you for your patience. Waiting for the installation people, I turn on my computer. After loading for a bit, it goes to the lock screen and a red box pops up with access code blinking on the screen. Well, I guess there's no getting a head start on the setup, I mumble, turning the computer back off and waiting some more. Making some lunch and starting going over a few of the rules to have a better idea of what is expected of me. After getting bored of reading, I lay down and stared at the ceiling. Guess I won't be seeing my parents ever again, I think, trying to comprehend the mixed feelings of anger, sadness, and happiness. Unable to understand why I am so over the place with my emotions, I shout, "May our ties be severed from this point on." Just then, someone knocked. Jumping up, I looked at the time to see it was 5:06 p.m. Already 5. Damn, I must have really spaced out, I thought, shaking my head, opening the door to see two people. One in a gray uniform and another in a purple outfit. Moving out of the way, they walk in without a word. Now that you have been assigned your job, I assume you have opened up the first page of the rulebook, even possibly checking out some of the rules in the different sections? The lady in purple said frankly. Yes, ma'am, I replied. Good. Let's set up your computer while he creates a workroom for you, she demanded. Turning my computer on, I move it towards her. She quickly unlocked the computer and started setting up my email and added extensions to everything that would benefit me in this career, pausing only for a moment to look at me before looking back at the screen. Add a password, she said, rotating the computer to face me. Quickly, I placed one in and confirmed the password before rotating it back to her, finishing the computer setup in silence. You will receive an email tomorrow with your first writing goal. Any questions regarding your designated career? So, no training before starting? I asked. No, you passed all training requirements while in school. You're my boss, no? Yes, I will be monitoring all authors, penalizing or rewarding you for your writing. This job will make or break you, and failures have no place in this field. Be prepared to fight for your life, for only the top individuals thrive, she said frankly, standing up and looking at the man in gray. I stand up, following the man into my new office. Chairs, bookshelf, monitor, bulletin board, notebooks, a timer, as well as walls that change themes, going from an image of the woods to waterfalls and various other images. I want that office. Sorry, not sorry. I want that office with a remote control. I need a woods. I need a the ocean. Yeah. Hey, there. I'm reminded of the polar bear because the very next line, this remote will allow you to control the theme of your wall, he said, pressing a few buttons, changing the images. Here, you will be able to control what you see on your monitor, and this app will automatically turn on when you open the writing pad, tracking everything from word count, writing sprints, mission goals, and much more. When you wish to check your progress, simply tap the app on your phone. It was automatically downloaded, the man in gray said, pinning a card on the bulletin board. Observing the layout, I feel delighted with how the room is set up. Watching the man hand a pad to the lady, she signs something, then hands it back to him. Walking out, the man looks to me for confirmation before leaving. Following behind, they let themselves out, not bothering to look back. Grabbing my laptop, I placed it on the lower part of my desk, then put my charger in the wall and plugged in my computer, playing around with the new system. Finally, after a while, I made some supper and headed to bed. Waking up the next morning, I quickly ran to my computer, checking the emails. A single email with the caption Halloween Horror. Tapping it and reading it over, A thrilling energy fills me. Dear authors, welcome to the Halloween Horror, where authors will be challenged to create a collection of horror stories. Each story will have a prompt assigned to them. You will be required to write two different short stories each week. By the end of the week, there will be a live reading of the stories written. Readers will be assigned to review and select the best readings of that week. With only 3 winners allowed each week, may the best win. Your goal is to create a collection worthy of being published. Succeed in all your missions, and you will be rewarded. Fail, and penalties will be given. Select 2 of the 4 missions for this week's writing. Mission 1: write about someone trapped as a zombie in search of escape. Mission 2: write about an alien invasion. Mission 3: write about a cult that rules the world. Mission 4: write about a person that loves to kill. Goal: follow Section 6 rules. Each story must be between 1,000 to 7,500. Complete 2 writing missions by the end of the week. All writing must be submitted by Friday, 11:30 p.m. Create a cover image for each story. Selecting my 2 options, I quickly grab something to eat, change the walls to a spooky themed image, and read over Section 6 rules. Simple enough to follow, I thought, closed the rule book, and began writing. Turning on the timer, I write away until it rings, taking many breaks to grab a snack or go to the bathroom. As I write, the story begins to flow, and I find myself craving more from my characters. Finishing my first draft by 6 p.m., just as the timer rings. Stopping there for the day and making myself some supper. As I eat some pasta, I go over the tracking app. Multiple sprints and the word count numbers for each sprint showing in large numbers, as the total word count for that and the previous sprints was in small font just below that count. Slowly, the total increased with every sprint. Tapping the 3 lines, I see the mission tab. Going there, I select one of the missions. Seeing the word count showing 0 and a category with sub requests that align with the main mission. Realizing the submissions that come with the main one, I go back and click on the writing mission I worked on today and go over it, realizing I will need to do multiple edits tomorrow to add in the requests. Grabbing a sheet of paper, I write down the subquests and place each one under the main missions, jotting down some of the ideas that pop in my head as I stare at the spooky themed wallpaper. Calling it a night, I stick my notes onto the board and turn the walls to white before heading to my bedroom and fall asleep. The next morning, I immediately started editing my first draft, turning on the spooky themed images and completing the subquest before noon. Enjoying my writing break before moving on to the next writing prompt, I realize I haven't checked my email. Panicking, I quickly go do that and see a caption with Daily Quest. Daily Quest. Add in the line, "This is a bad idea." Why? Because I thought of it? Okay, this isn't too bad. I know where I can add this into my story, I mumbled. Going back into my story when the new sprint started, I quickly read over the story, stopping when I found a good spot to add the daily quest and changing up some of the context to better fit the story, finishing the sprint with edits. I then move on to the second story, and around my halfway mark, I come up with a twist that causes me to cackle uncontrollably. Oh, please let this land. I need people to take my writing seriously. Finishing up the first drafts of my 2 stories, I started working on the cover images for both and placed the covers in their correct folders, calling it a night. Grabbing some tea and a biscuit, I open up my email to see a new daily quest. Daily quest. Edit stories and submit them to your editor by 11:30 p.m. Submit your covers for review by 11:30 p.m. Although I know I can complete this, I feel there is more to this career than meets the eye. I can't quite pinpoint it though. That or they are just trying to keep us on track, maybe. I pondered as I read over the email. Dun dun dun.
That's where she left it.
That's where she left it.
I was expecting to hold that up while I was on mute.
Dahlia, you can't give us that kind of fucking buildup and then poof. No poofage. Like every time Izzy paused, I'm like, here it comes. Every time Izzy paused, here it comes. Nope, it never just came.
That's still her though.
Oh, it's very much Dahlia. Because even the sweet stories has us on fucking edge like, oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
She is definitely the oops, I did it again. And little man agrees.
What little man said.
Mm-hmm.
He's just kind of going off in the background. He has no idea what's going on, but he's just kind of going off in the background. He's
Yeah, and
feeling
yet somehow his warbling scream just matched mine. So I don't that's my nephew right there.
Yup. Well, nephew / godson. All right, I'm gonna go try to usher him into a room while you're getting set up for the last one of the night, which happens to be you.
Oh my Jesus.
Pressure's on now.
Oh, no pressure. I'm not even remotely worried about it. But yeah,
I'm curious to see if it's going to get a reaction like you had from anyone.
I don't know. We'll see. But I just heard something.
Uh-oh. So, who has plans for Halloween? And what are they? You don't even hand out candy? So your neighborhood is like really bad for that because we're like kind of really isolated from other communities. Yeah, that's kind of the issue we have too. There's not a lot of kids around. Multiple playgrounds in the area, but not a lot of kids. I think what it is they're all getting taken to trunk or treats and mall trick or treating and stuff like that. Because I'm hearing a lot of people say the same thing, like no kids come around anymore, but then they'll have like this huge haul from going to like a trunk or treat or two and like going to the mall and trick or treating. Like it's it's not the Halloween of when we were kids. That's for sure. Um, so what's everyone think so far of all the stories?
We got a hell of a freaking collection tonight. That's all I got to say.
I was just trying to keep going.
Right.
Sorry, there was a loud crash in the kitchen, and so I was a little concerned. And then I
Oh,
also heard Will yell out, um, and I'm not quite sure what that was all about. They may have been completely unrelated, but a pan fell off the refrigerator, so it was probably Lynn. Just saying.
so Trisha, I'm pretty much done with my first draft as of tonight's submission. So we're a step closer.
Yep.
And as for cuts and cufflinks, as you guys found out that this was chapter 14. So far, I have the bare bones getting everything ready for up to chapter 14, and I have the rough outline for 16 and 17 so far. So, will we have more opportunities to make Izzy into okay? What?
I can't
All
even
I
read
got is
that.
chapter 1.
Oh, chapter 1 printed. Yes.
Chapter 1. So I can take a red pen to it. I like taking a red pen to my shit and just like going, nope, not this. Nope. I am my own worst critic, editor, whatever. And I am blurry as hell on.
Yeah, yeah, but you just cleared up over here, so you give it a minute, and you're going to clear up over there.
Yeah.
I hope so. Performance issues.
Well, that's what she said. Um,
Skill issue.
User error. Actually, no, it's technology. Um, but yeah, and we're gonna end the night on an Izzy prompt. And while Izzy's reading her stuff out, I'm gonna go ahead and get the dice out so we can go ahead and
Yep, we lost Izzy. Oh, there she is.
there we go.
There we
I,
go.
I got the dice out so we can go ahead and roll immediately after this and see how badly we are going to be fucked over by the dice this week. So, without any further ado, when Izzy is ready, another encounter into Blood Cipher, which I have been told that I have had the book and the mic for in case it got thrown at her. So here we go.
October 16th, 2021, 5:59 p.m. PDT, Thistledown, Southgate. Ethan Tanaka yanked his radio to his lips as soon as he saw the blonde woman in the peach hoodie give a strangled cry and collapse backward, convulsing on the ground, the other woman still in her lap. Crawford! Phillips! I need help at the front gate! He was already moving, dropping to his knees beside them. Now he could see they were clearly related. He tore off his jacket, bunched it tight, and slid it beneath the older woman's head as he eased her onto her side. His boots scraped against the concrete, grinding through the gravel she'd kicked up in her frantic arrival. Her body jolted violently against his arm. Come on, breathe, he muttered, steadying her shoulder. Breathe. The radio crackled against his chin. What's going on, Tanaka? Crawford's voice cutting sharp through the static. Send medics! He barked into it, still bracing the seizing woman. The younger one lay half across her, limp and unmoving, hair veiling her face. Gravel crunched in the drive behind him several agonizing minutes later. Crawford hit the apron next to the girl. His eyes went wide. Dear God, Naomi's here? Tanaka blinked in surprise. Who? Radio it. We need to get them into the house. Again, Tanaka hesitated, confusion flashing across his face. Sir? Blast it, kid. That is Mr. Connor's ex-fiancée, Odette Alari. This one here is her younger sister. Radio it out. The housekeeper's nieces? Shit, he swore under his breath. On it. Tanaka thumbed his walkie. We need 2 stretchers at the south gate. The line crackled back with overlapping voices. Phillips confirming, another voice asking who the Vic was. Tanaka tuned it out. Crawford had already pulled off his own coat, bunching it under the younger woman's slack shoulders. Her breathing was shallow, lips pale. Easy, Mimi, Crawford muttered. more to himself than her. Stay with me. Tanaka crouched again, glancing at the older one. Odette, Crawford had said. She was trembling still, out cold but breathing, thank God. She's stable enough to move, Crawford said. When Mick gets here, we'll lift them together. Sir, what the hell happened to them? Crawford shook his head. No idea. But whatever it is, keep your gloves on. Protocol SWAC? I thought that was handled. Crawford barely looked up, eyes narrowing toward the house. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. He squinted through the trees and the waning light. We'll get the professionals to sort it out. Tanaka followed his gaze. The tree line near the east entrance exploded, Dr. Donnelly barreling toward them, trailed by Stitch, Spectre, and Viper. The dusk sensors hummed to life one by one, lamps flaring in a slow ripple through the trees, lighting their sprint like a runway. Tanaka froze as the veterinarian snatched one of the gate's iron bars to catapult himself over their heads, twisting in the air to land at the woman's feet. The man was barely winded. Odette? Naomi? His eyes raked across their forms, taking in every detail. He seized Odette's wrists, peeling her hands off her sister. Her palms came away blistered, the skin raw and red. No skin contact. Get them separated now. Viper, Spectre, get those stretchers over here. The women of Team Beta moved in with practiced precision. Viper shot him a glare that needed no words, and Tanaka retreated, yanking his coat clear as they rolled Odette onto her side and slid the stretcher beneath her like a backboard. Spectre adjusted the straps. Viper checked vitals, her movements brisk but careful. She's still got a pulse, she called. Both of them do, Stitch added, pressing two fingers to Naomi's throat. Weak, but steady. Good, Dr. Donnelly said, already moving. Get them up to the house, straight through the main hall and into their room. Do not take them anywhere near the infirmary. Tanaka frowned, glancing up. Sir? The veterinarian didn't slow. His tone clipped. Plumber's already been exposed. We can't risk. He cut himself off, scanning the stretchers as they lifted. Just move. Tanaka stepped back, boots crunching again as Team Beta carried both women up the drive. The dusk lights along the lane caught their movement, the golden wash stretching their shadows across the stones. He watched them disappear toward the mansion, the night settling heavier around the gate as the sound of boots faded into the hum of the lamps. Tanaka stared at the mansion long after they'd faded from sight. The south gate stood open, the lamps casting long, uneasy shadows across the drive. His pulse was still hammering, breath fogging in the chill air. In less than 15 minutes, two strangers had collapsed. The doctor had flown like a damned acrobat, and his commanding officer looked ready to bite someone's head off. He tipped his face toward the sky where the nearly full moon hung bright and swollen above the trees and mountains around them. His grandmother used to say strange things always stirred before it turned full. Animals, restless, people stranger still. He'd never believed her. Not really. But tonight, as the world settled around him, he wasn't so sure. October 16, 2021, 6:11 p.m. PDT. Thistledown, Finn's office. Callum stalked the width of the room, cutting a glare toward his brother. It is the collective, then, isn't it? From behind the desk, Finn groaned. Maybe. Probably. He buried his head in his hands. I don't fucking know. It's been fine for so long. Why now? Callum froze. Why now? Why now? His tone turned strident. Because you got complacent, Finn. You had your pieces all over the board without a plan instead of going for their throat. His throat was dry and cracked with emotion. You always did suck at chess. He turned to Phillips, who stood quietly in the corner of the room. So now you know. Phillips replied with a curt nod. Yes, sir. And now a lot of things make a lot more sense. Callum narrowed his eyes. The guard rushed on. I want to assure you, Mr. Connors, I can keep the secret. As I've already explained to Crawford and the other Mr. Connors, it's Callum. Just Callum. Mr. Connors was Da. Phillips nodded with a brief glance at Finn. Okay. Callum, then. He swallowed. Look, This place is more than a paycheck to me. Good people shouldn't be targeted like this. Appreciate your loyalty, Phillips. He rubbed his chin. Question, though. Phillips snapped to attention. Yes? Callum crossed his arms over his chest. Why did she call you Derek on the phone earlier? The guard fidgeted. Well, see, I I've been studying Nordic religious traditions in my off time, and Odette's been a great resource. Callum tilted his head, assessing him. Huh. Phillips hesitated, clearly unsure if that was approval or accusation. She she knows a lot about runes. Also said I reminded her of some Derek from one of her books, except that I'm not a tattoo artist, whatever that means. Callum gave a sharp exhale through his nose. Sounds like her. Silence stretched between them, the kind that thickens when there's too much unsaid. Finn rubbed his temples, clearly pained. Phillips looked like he should be doing anything other than standing in an office. Callum stared at the far wall as though it had personally wronged him. That was when the sound reached them, muffled at first, then swelling. The wrenching of the front doors, the bark of orders, boots echoing through the front foyer. Phillips was on the move first, with Callum following in his wake. At the balcony railing, they scanned the length of the ballroom floor 2 stories below. Mick led the way out of the foyer to the front corner stairs, followed by Crawford and 3 members of Team Beta wrestling 2 stretchers between them. Callum squinted, the distance a minor obstacle, and zeroed in on the figures. The spill of blonde hair over the stretcher's edge clenched something deep in his chest. Odette! His scream echoed across the space. He took off, sprinting the length of the East Wing's 3rd floor to the top of the same corner stairs. He barely heard Phillips and Finn behind him as they tried to keep up. The thud of boots in the stairwell bounced off walls, mimicking the sound of his heart. Callum reached the 2nd floor landing just as Mick topped it from below, but held back to let them through first. Once in her room, he skirted through the guards, too many people in too small a space, and reached Odette's head as they transferred her to the bed. Across the room, he caught Spectre and Viper transferring Naomi to a low daybed. Callum brushed a lock of hair from her face as he knelt beside her. He watched as her eyes darted beneath her lids. Her breathing was ragged, her body tense and ready for flight. He looked up at his brother-in-law. Mick, what happened? Mick shook his head, his fingers working nimbly over her palms. I don't know. Tanaka held Odette on her side once she started convulsing, like a seizure, but not. He broke off as Naomi gave a low moan from across the room. Jesus, Finn muttered, stepping into the room. Get Neve up here now. Phillips moved outside the door, already radioing the order. Callum barely heard him. His focus tunneled to Odette, the way her skin had gone too pale, the faint tremor rippling down her arm. He reached for her hand, half afraid his touch might break her. Don't, Mick cautioned, blocking Callum's hand. She's blistered. She's hot, burning up, he replied quietly. Mick glanced up, sweat on his temple. Yeah, same with Naomi. Their pulses are. He pressed 2 fingers to Odette's wrist, then frowned. Shit, fading. Don't you dare leave me, Callum whispered, leaning closer. Her lashes fluttered and for a moment he thought she might wake. Then her body jerked once, sharp as a whip crack, and her back arched off the bed. Hold her, Mick barked. Callum braced her shoulders while Mick grabbed her legs. The air grew thick with a strange, electric tang, ozone or something worse. It crawled along Callum's arms like static. Naomi let out a strangled cry across the room, matching the rhythm of Odette's convulsions. Stitch and Viper rushed to contain her. Finn's voice rose over the chaos. What the hell is this? Callum didn't answer. He could feel it. Some shared current sparking between the sisters, something ancient and familiar. A pulse, a call, a warning. Neve burst through the doorway, paused, then rushed to Naomi's side. Too many people in here. Anyone not medically trained? Out! Everyone froze in their tracks. Neve didn't hesitate. She crouched beside Naomi, carefully inspecting her pupils, her clothes, finally lifting the old army jacket. Naomi's skin is blistered. We need to clean and dress this immediately, she said, moving with practiced precision. Callum heard a stumble and curse. I said, get out! Neve moved Spectre out of the way. I said, only medically trained can stay. The rest of you go. Spectre grabbed the discarded stretchers without rolling them up and exited, clearly used to Neve's orders. Neve threw a look over her shoulder. Finn, Callum, that means you too. Callum hesitated and glanced at his brother. He looks awful, lost. Good. It's about time he's realized what he's done. Crawford turned the helpless Finn away as his employer's shoulders hunched, distraught. Callum gritted his teeth. He did this. He exposed her to whatever is happening. All of this is his fault. Mick touched his shoulder. That means you too, buddy. Don't worry. I've got her. He tensed, his body unwilling to let her go as she continued to thrash in the bed. Viper approached Odette's other side, climbed onto the bed to hold her still, preventing further personal damage. Softly, her voice lilted into his awareness. Callum, we've got her. When they don't need me anymore, I will come find you. She squeezed his forearm gently. You're just in the way right now. Go on. Callum lingered a moment before giving the Englishwoman a brief nod and running out the door. Down the corridor, he caught sight of Finn leaning against the wall and pinching the bridge of his nose. Callum ran at him, angry. This is your fault. You brought her here. Finn looked up, brow furrowed. What? What are you talking about? You called her, Callum raged. You called her to your fucking side again, and you put her in danger. How was I going to know she'd collapse? Get a hold of yourself, Callum. From the room, Neve yelled. Get Cordelia and Lavinia. Outside the doorway, Crawford yelled back. On it! He ran past the brothers to the kitchens, yelling for the elderly housekeepers. Callum turned back to Finn. You know about the Larry gifts as well as I do, but you brought Odette to this madness anyway. Moyer being sick, me getting attacked, but you? No, you have to be all woe is me. I need my ex to comfort me, bringing her to this hell. What do you expect me to say? Finn replied, raising his hands in frustration. What words will make this better? Dun dun.
And you got mad at Dahlia?
I didn't. Y'all did.
Honey, that's nowhere near pot and kettle.
What do
Don't woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda me.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're
You,
talking about.
you do realize your voice goes real fucking high when you're nervous, right?
Even Trisha saw
Even
you.
Trisha's yelling Izzy at you.
No, I said payback is a bitch.
Yeah, I still think I got you worse.
You sure about that?
Yeah, because you don't know what happens next, and I kind of already do.
In what? I don't know what happens next in yours?
Yeah,
Okay, do you know what happens next in mine?
I got a good idea.
Oh, you think.
Well, you did cuss me out earlier for being like,
No. One of the things that you all couldn't hear me yelling and screaming is, I don't do sex. I don't do steamy. I don't do smexy. Lion sack of shit.
I don't. Not one of that had anything to do with a actual sexual act. I didn't say I didn't do a buildup.
No. You even said you didn't do smexy.
No, I didn't say that I don't do sexy because I did sexy in Crossroads. It was
Nuh-uh.
just
Not
Fade black.
like this. Not like this. Mm-mm. No.
Well, I mean, there was the garden scene.
I'm just
Come on,
saying.
Kevin. You gotta help me out here a little bit.
I I'm
Any hoozle, we've got dice.
I got
don't
dice.
change the subject.
I'm
What
going to change the subject because apparently this has now become a case of one-upmanship that I am choosing not to engage in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
But I was right. I was so freaking right, and that proved it right freaking there. About one Callum and Odette.
Well, from the moment you said it, that's where it was going. You just pointed out something that wasn't obvious to me right that moment. You can be smug all you want. Doesn't mean a helmet ain't gonna smash across your face.
I don't know. That big of a target coming at me. I'm like, I can move.
Come on, load. Thinking thing.
And honestly, no, I don't know where this is going. I know where I'd like for it to go. I have a good idea where you're headed with this. But it is very much a, well, we won't know it until Izzy writes it, and it could be weeks before we know what the hell happens from there.
Could
Well,
be
I mean, there's
months.
also like so many people focus on the big stuff, the big yelling and screaming, and not the small little subtle pops and drops. And I like hitting y'all with those.
But ending on the freaking line, I mean, come on, woman.
What?
I mean, yeah, mic drop moment.
Your point?
Point is that I would have really liked to see Callum take a swing at his brother. I really would have. I understand that it would not have furthered the plot, but it would have made me and probably Callum feel better.
You gonna roll?
I did roll. I was waiting for you to say, okay, now our first prompt is
What you got?
50.
No, that was a couple of days ago. Or a couple of weeks ago. Stranger. Being followed by a stranger.
Okay, so re-roll. 36.
A small town has an annual tradition that no one talks about. No. That one's already been done too.
Okay.
We are definitely next year. The
Oh yeah,
instant
no.
something
I think
is
we said
rolled, it's going bye bye.
92.
Hey! Oh, Jesus. In a world where everyone has a small soulmate, one character discovers that their soulmate is someone they despise.
Oh, we got enemies to lovers.
Not necessarily. Soulmates don't necessarily mean lovers.
This is true,
True.
but a lot of people could take it that way, and then there's people who won't. All right, next is 100
42.
write a scene in which a character is confronted by their biggest fear, but the thing they're afraid of is not what they expected.
Interesting. 69. Oh God.
They waited until the church bell rang twice before moving.
Oh.
100
64. 64.
164. And that one has been rolled already this year.
Okay.
Although I like it.
68.
Nope. Go again.
48.
Mm. Starting first line, she folded the map along its creased spine and smiled.
Okay. 91.
Please hold. I fucked something up. I cut too much.
Oh shit.
All right, there we go. Dialogue. Our favorite, usually selected. Use this dialogue. You don't have to do this alone, he insisted, reaching out. I'm not going anywhere. All right, and last but not least, 100 and
99.
ooh, we got so close to almost needing a. Okay, so here are the prompts. Here are the prompts in the chat. Number one, concept. In a world where everyone has a soulmate, one character discovers that their soulmate is someone they despise. Number two, concept. Write a scene in which a character is confronted by their biggest fear, but the thing they're afraid of is not what they expected. Number three, starting first line, they waited until the church bell rang twice before moving. Number four, starting first line, she folded the map along its creased spine and smiled. Number 5, dialogue. You don't have to do this alone, he insisted, reaching out. I'm not going anywhere. And number 6, use this dialogue. They made you cry, so I killed them.
Mm.
They made you cry, so I killed them. Is number 6. All right. So, in the chat, vote. Vote, vote, vote. Oh, Trisha.
That's
That's
evil.
aggressive right there. Damn.
All right. Vote, vote, vote. What do we got? What do we got? Those poor concepts just never get much love. I mean, from the overachievers, they get love. They get weaved into things quite often. But oh, I know. I know, Trisha. We're just not used to that from you. We're used to the lovingness between Anne and Joe, and we know you're capable of it. Just you know, just not used to it. Oh, I spoke too soon. All right. Number 1, in a world where everyone has a soulmate, one character discovers that their soulmate is someone they despise. Number 2, write a scene in which a character is confronted by their biggest fear, but the thing they're afraid of is not what they expect. Number 3, starting first line, they waited until the church bell rang twice before moving. Number 4, starting first line, she folded the map along its creased spine and smiled. Number 5, use this dialogue. You don't have to do this alone, he insisted, reaching out. I'm not going anywhere. Number 6, use this dialogue. They made you cry, so I killed them. Julie.
The only thing is if I pick the one that I want,
Then
we're gonna
pick the one that you want.
trying to figure out how to fucking deal with this.
Pick the one you want. That is the point of voting. 5. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, looks like we have got all votes in. So we are tied between 5 and 6. Poor K Knight and me are like out in the, out in the weeds. So we've got a tie between.
See, that was the whole thing. I was down between 5 and 3, and it was like no matter what I freaking pick, there's a tie.
That's not the point. That's not the point. Okay, that's not the point of voting. That's not what we came up with right in the beginning. It's what you told the authors and the prompters and the audience members to pick the one that they wanted to write, the one that they wanted to see other people write. That's the point of voting. Vote. Okay. You want to keep talking about measure with the ancestors, measure with your heart. Vote with your heart, Julie. Patrick, all of them always tie together in some way, shape, or form. Are some much easier to tie together than others? Yes. So we've got a tie right now between. You don't have to do this alone, he insisted, reaching out. I'm not going anywhere. And they made you cry, so I killed them. So I guess use both, one or the other. Whatever works. Those two are the official ones.
Yep.
See how easy that was? I'm still going to use that number 3 though somewhere.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. This was like,
and the fact that it was the number 69, you can tell where my brain went with that. I'm just saying. You know, because when Just a Kiss lights everything up, and the fire and the heat and the
yep.
Okay. So it is 11 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock Central. People have to go to bed. I don't. But I do have to go over to the Discord and be completely unfiltered. Don't forget to make sure that you sign up for the newsletter. Earlier this year, I paid $100 to make sure that we had enough to be able to send out newsletters, that nobody was getting shafted and not getting their newsletters. So sign up if you are not signed up already. Also join the Discord. Make sure, because we post them in there. In fact, let me just click over there. And let me click here and here, and we're going to put 2 asterisks in front of that one and 2 asterisks in front of that one. Double check the due date, October 25th, season 2, episode 43. Bingo, bingo. It is already in the Discord. Don't have to wait for tomorrow's email with the newsletter. Don't forget to check our newsletter for events and new releases. We always share the 2 most recent book releases and the most recent audio release of our prompting, people, right? Because rising tide lifts all ships. Okay. We're all about cross promotion, cross help things. We also have some new, I should have announced this earlier, but we have a thread specifically for, not a thread, sorry, a channel specifically for Plotoween, with links and things, and we are going to keep adding to those over time. We're going to do that with Harvest the Words as well, where there are resources within there in those monthly chats to be able to do the things, right? What is a B plot? What is a C story? Those sorts of things are going to be helpful in there as you hone your craft. Yes, we do rough drafts here. Get your concepts. We're your alpha readers, okay? We're like gonna give you the feedback as to whether or not, excuse me, I need more. So awesome sauce. That being said, we are not going to go live tomorrow because I have things that I need to do. And maybe one of these days I'll get Kesh over here and teach her how to
Run
broadcast.
everything.
Yeah.
Also, we have a very big announcement tonight.
Yep.
That I left to the end of the show on fucking purpose. But with tonight's show and tonight's word count from all of our fucking prompters, we busted 500,000 words for this year on tonight's episode. We came in at 502,944 words as of tonight. Depression. And we have
awesome.
Um, Now, mind you, we do not know if we will make the million words for this year or not. We do know that we ain't stopping until it's New Year's Eve. So get your story ideas, do the work, flush out the plots, do the damn thing, because by the time we are done, all that's going to be remaining is you have an amazing book that you can fluster out and put a graphic to and put out there. And guess what? Now you are a published author. And that's all that matters, is getting more of our work in front of the right people and at the right time. So that was our big announcement. To hit that 750,000, we are going to have to start putting up at least 25,000 words a week. Now, mind you, right now that's not real hard for us. I mean, yeah, we've only been putting up about 18,000 a week, but we have some other authors coming in. We have a lot of things going on. So we're just going to keep chugging forward. We might not hit that million this year. That does not mean we're not going to hit that million at all.
Well, if we keep going with the show, eventually we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get closer every year.
And I got no intention of backing off. So we all know how I feel about that. And, the hashtag make Izzy feel. I mean, at one time there was a hashtag make Izzy cry. We are very much no, we have to, we get bigger and badder and more brazen every week to see exactly how far we can push the damn envelope with Izzy before shit goes haywire. I hit that level tonight, so I was like, now she's starting to go duct take again. All right, but that's with that. If you're not signed up for the newsletter, please sign up for the newsletter. Otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and send us out. Are we good for sending out? I'm not looking to rate anybody tonight. Let's just go ahead and sign out and go.
It's late. We all need to, get
Chill.
sleep, chill. Gonna head over to the Discord, where we don't get canceled because of me yelling at Julie and threatening things. So
Right. So
take us out, boss.
all right. Remember, don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. If you do manage to get your ass fucking arrested, assert dominance. Call me in case we need bail money. Otherwise, be brave, be bold, but always stay humble. And we will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Goodbye.